Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a foundation routine, and I know what you're thinking. I just did a foundation routine like 2 weeks ago, but actually this is going to be a different one because the one that I showed you was my more natural everyday foundation routine that I do on a day-to-day basis. It's slightly lighter coverage, and it just sort of takes care of my hyperpigmentation. But unfortunately, I had a serious breakout recently. Like, I haven't broken out this bad since I was 16, and I used to suffer with cystic acne. I kind of beat the cycle, and I'm not entirely sure what brought on this breakout, but I have it pretty badly again, and I thought that instead of wallowing in my sort of insecurity over my skin, I would film a helpful video for you guys and show you how to cover up a breakout like this in case you ever have a problem with it. Now, pretty shortly here, probably within the next couple of days, I'm not sure if it'll be my next video or the video after that, I will be doing a video on how to get rid of a cystic acne breakout and how to treat it properly. Because I think that that's really helpful as well, just to know how to treat it instead of just how to cover it. So I'm going to stop talking now and I will just jump into the tutorial. One more thing before I go. I am a 19-year-old girl and I get insecure sometimes, so if you are going to make a comment about something that is not about the content of this video, you know exactly what I mean. Don't do it. Just don't. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. Okay, so if you think you're gonna do something like that, just X out. If not, keep watching. Okay, so this is what I look like without any makeup on right now. And you can see I've got active breakouts pretty much along this cheek, right along here, although most of these have kind of faded and have sort of just gone into hyperpigmentation, because when my skin gets an acne mark, it leaves behind a little bump. And then I have a couple down here and then one or two on the forehead. So you can see my skin is just not up to par. Even in this lighting, it looks a lot better than it really is right now. I've already moisturized my face. I washed it, of course, this morning, and I moisturized it. I will talk a little bit more about that in the how to get rid of cystic acne video, but for the time being, I just kind of usually let my moisturizer sit about 10 minutes before I apply anything else, and then on top of that, I applied my Hard Candy Sheer Envy Skin Perfecting Primer. Even if you don't normally wear a primer, it's really important to do so when you have kind of imperfections you really need to cover, just because I feel like there's a lot more slip to your skin. Like, I know this sounds kind of weird, but acne can be slippery and it doesn't always cover properly. So I feel like a primer is great. It's going to keep it on there all day. Just going to ensure no slipping or anything like that. Use whichever one you like. I love this one. It's like $6 from Walmart and it's super cheap. So moving into the actual makeup portion of this, I'm going to be using this Maybelline Super Stay makeup, and I am in the color Sand Beige. This is a completely full coverage foundation. It is full medium coverage to completely full coverage foundation. Not something I normally want to wear on like an everyday basis, but when I really need you know, an active breakout like this covered, if I was going to an event or if I was going to be, you know, filming a video for you guys today, this is what I would be using. So I know that in my everyday foundation routine, I typically start with concealer first because it looks a bit more natural, but for this we really want to cover and the natural look while it's important in this. You know, the main thing here is just trying to get this stuff covered. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with this, and I am taking a Real Techniques brush. This is the buffing brush. It's almost like worn off. You could definitely use your fingers, just make sure they're clean, because obviously we're trying to get rid of the acne that's on our face. So what I like to do with this is kind of dot it in the center of my face, and then of course, you know, my most active breakout is right there, so I'm going to dab a little bit extra, a bit more on this side, maybe a little bit more down the center of my nose, on the middle of my forehead, a bit on the chin right there, maybe a little bit extra just for under the eyes, and I do that part with my fingers, and then I'll actually take the brush, dip it in just a bit of foundation, a little bit extra, it's just on the back of my hand, and then I'll start kind of stippling this in, like so. Sure, that was really blended on my face, but I haven't tried to cover absolutely everything. Next, I'm going in with my Hard Candy Glamouflage Heavy Duty Concealer because, as you can see, while the foundation did a pretty good job, I'll zoom you guys in real quick. You can definitely still see where I'm breaking out on my face. So what I'm going to do with the concealer is actually conceal where I am breaking out, and then I'm going to go on top of that again with foundation just to provide a touch extra coverage and ensure that it's going to last. So I'm the color light in this, but you would really just use whatever concealer you felt like was truly full coverage and could cover anything. For this step, I always use my fingers just because I feel like it kind of warms the product up and helps it blend a bit easier. Now you can see that because I'm kind of breaking out just on this general side of my face, I'm not going to take the time to blend the concealer onto every individual spot just because I'm going to go over with the foundation anyways, and as you could tell, I have a lot of hyperpigmentation right there. This is just kind of the way I apply my concealer on an everyday basis. Is my camera focusing? I feel like it wants to hang out on the little wall decal back there. I'm sorry if it is. I'm trying to figure out kind of my filming setup right now. But anyways, I'm just going to kind of blend this onto all of my problem areas. Simply because I'm in the concealer stage, I'm going to go ahead and conceal my under eye circles. I use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. Not much to do with this tutorial, but I hate you, Tyler. My boyfriend is watching me. Yes, you may come out here. You are allowed. They're going to think that I like trapped you in a room or something. Now I'm just going back in with my foundation, and for this part I usually use my fingers, but I'm going to take a little bit. Just kind of pour it on the back of my hand. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this, like that's way too much, but I'm also going to blend it onto my neck, so it's going to be fine. I need to zoom you guys in real quick. Okay, so now pretty much anywhere where I have that concealer, I'm just going to kind of blend this over the concealer, and instead of rubbing it into the face, I'm just going to kind of tap it in with my fingertips. And just really make sure it's like fully blended, you know, around the hairline, the jaw, everything like that, so it doesn't look fake. This is kind of where I just let everything set, and I usually give it about maybe 10 minutes before I actually put on my powder, so I'll go and do the rest of my makeup and then put on my powder and all of that good stuff. But if I really wanted this to set at this point, I would go ahead and use the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. They have a new formula for this. Any kind of makeup setting spray would really just lock this into place before you put on the powder. And then I always do a spritz after powder just to make everything like blend a little bit better and look a bit more natural. However, I don't need this to last that long. It's like 2 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and just sort of let this sit, and then I will come back to you guys. But I wanted to show you real quick just how well this technique kind of covers everything. Obviously, you can still see that I have bumps on my face. However, once the powder kind of goes over it, it sort of blurs it and just makes it look not as obvious. So I'm gonna go and do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I let that sit kind of while I was doing the rest of my makeup. So now I'm going in with a kabuki brush. This is just an e.l.f. kabuki brush. And my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, I'm in the color Creamy Natural. Just gonna kind of buff that around, get a good bit on my brush. And then what I do, instead of swirling the powder on top of the foundation, and I showed this in my previous foundation routine, my like everyday one, I just kind of pat it on, and that way it doesn't disturb the kind of perfect finish we created with the foundation. So just continue doing that. Ooh, powder went everywhere that time. But basically, it's okay to put on a little bit too much powder at this stage, not enough to where you know you're gonna look cakey. But what I typically do is I kind of pat it on like this, And then I really lightly dust it off with a big fluffy powder brush. I'll show you guys in a minute. But just keep on my neck. However, I completely and totally swirl. I've got like 2 breakouts down there, but I don't usually break out of my neck. And then you just kind of take a powder brush and dust it all over your face, just kind of knocking off any excess powder. And because this is such a light kind of fluffy brush, it doesn't really disturb the foundation. So what I would do at this point, just because I feel like a lot more makeup doesn't really sit well on skin that kind of has bumps along the edges, so I'm not really going to do any contouring. I'm just going to do a touch of bronzer right along the sides of my face, and then I'm going to do some blush, and then I will come back and I will spray my face down with the makeup setting spray from Urban Decay, and I'm pretty much done. And so at this point I am completely done with my makeup. I'm going to zoom you guys in just so you can kind of see. As you can tell really up close, you can definitely still see marks on my face, the active breakouts and such, but no one's really going to get this close to you, and it definitely looks better than when we started. And it is completely covered. You're going to be good for like photos if you are going somewhere important and you have a random breakout or something like that. So I think that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Again, I'm going to be doing a video in a couple of days just on how to get rid of cystic acne and how to kind of beat the cycle, because I just think it's really important to kind of go in conjunction with covering it up. So again, I hope you guys found this helpful, and until my next video, I love you all and I will talk to you later. Bye. I love you.
I love you.
Having fun?
Yes.
Bye.
Big old pink one. Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is snowing! It was 70 degrees a week ago. What the heck? It keeps throwing my lighting off too. I keep having to refocus the camera to like get the lighting back to normal. I got a text message. You texted me?
Yeah.
Sorry.